He just crushed England 3-0, lifted the Ashes in front of a roaring away crowd, and looked untouchable. Yet Kevin Walters is already planning the day he disappears from rugby league forever. Not in 5 years, not after the World Cup. I'm talking months from now. The man who bled maroon, the man who cried when the Broncos sacked him, the man every single Kangaroos player is begging to stay, has quietly built an escape hatch so perfect that when he pulls the pin, the entire game is going to be left stunned and asking, how the hell did we miss this? If that doesn't chill you as an Aussie footy fan, nothing will. Smash the like button right now if you're not ready to lose Kevvie. Hit subscribe and turn notifications on because Aussie NRL Updates is about to drop the biggest retirement bombshell of the summer. Let's tear this wide open. Let's start with the nightmare nobody wants to admit. Kevin Walters is broken. Not physically, but emotionally. 14 months ago, he was publicly humiliated, marched out of the Broncos like yesterday's trash after 5 seasons, 3 final series, and a grand final appearance. The club he grew up worshiping spat him out. He admitted the sacking gutted him. He spent weeks barely leaving the house. Then, out of nowhere, Mal Meninga quits the Kangaroos gig and the ARL throws Walters the lifeline on a 6-week contract. 6 weeks! He took a broken heart, a battered pride, and turned it into the first Ashes whitewash in 20 years. That's the stuff of Hollywood scripts. But here's the part that should terrify every single one of us. That 6-week contract ended the moment the team plane touched down from England. Finished. Expired. Done. Right now, today, Kevin Walters is technically unemployed as a coach. The ARL Commission and NRL power brokers are discussing whether to extend him through to the 2026 World Cup. Discussing. After a 3-0 clean sweep. After players like Payne Haas, Harry Grant, and Katoni Staggs publicly declared they only want to play for Australia if Walters is in charge. After legends like Gordon Tallis and Jonathan Thurston demanded the game show him respect. And yet, crickets. You think that silence isn't eating him alive? You think a proud Queenslander who has spent 40 years in the toughest sport on earth is just sitting by the phone begging for scraps? Hell no. Kevvie has already made his next move, and it's a move that screams retirement louder than any press conference ever could. While the entire rugby league world was busy crowning him the next immortal coach, Walters quietly signed a multi-year, full-time broadcasting deal with Fox League for 2026 and beyond. Not a casual pop-in-for-a-few-games role, a proper, locked-in, primetime analyst and commentator position. Big money, 0 travel on non-game weeks, 0 abuse from keyboard warriors, 0 pressure to win. He gets to talk about the game he loves without the game trying to kill him every single day. That's not a side hustle. That's a parachute. That's a man who has already pictured his life after coaching and decided it looks pretty bloody good. But wait, it gets even more suspicious. Go back to 2023. While he was still Broncos coach, while the club was still pretending everything was sweet, Walters dropped $2.5 million cash on a second property right next door to his family home in Auchenflower. Not an investment unit on the Gold Coast, not a beach house, a cottage literally 30 steps from his own back door. He turned the 2 blocks into one massive private compound worth close to $6 million today. Ask yourself, why does a full-time NRL coach flying to away games every second week need to create a private fortress in the suburbs unless he's planning on actually living there full-time without anywhere else to be? And then there's the quotes that nobody picked up on at the time. After the final test in Manchester, a journal asked him about the World Cup. He smiled, paused, and said, "I'd love to be a part of it, but mate, the last 12 months have been a hell of a ride. I've got to sit down with my family and work out what the future looks like." Family. Future. That's not coach speak. That's a man who has already started the countdown. Look at the pattern. Wayne Bennett has done it. Craig Bellamy keeps threatening it. The smartest coaches in history all reach a point where the wins don't heal the scars anymore. Walters has the premiership as a player, he's coached the grand final, he's won an Ashes series as head coach, and he's done it all while getting knifed by his boyhood club. What's left to prove? Another contract negotiation where people question if he's the right fit? Another year of death threats on social media? Another round of leaks and politics? Or he could wake up tomorrow, play golf at Indooroopilly, walk to his local cafe, call a few games on Friday nights, pocket 7 figures a year, and watch his grandkids grow up in that beautiful compound he's been spending years building. The clues are screaming at us. The contract silence, the TV deal, the property fortress, the tired eyes after the final siren, the hell of a ride comment, the fact that not one single club has even whispered about hiring him for 2026. Everyone assumes he's staying with the Kangaroos, but nobody has actually locked it in. Kevin Walters isn't begging to stay. He's already halfway out the door. And when he finally closes it behind him, the entire game is going to realize we just watched a legend walk away at the absolute peak. And we're only getting started. In segment 2, I'm going to show you the final piece of evidence that will make your jaw hit the floor. Stay right here. You are not ready for what's coming next. This is Aussie NRL Updates, and we are just warming up. Welcome back. If you're still here, you already know Kevin Walters is standing on the edge of the biggest decision of his life. But what I'm about to drop is the one piece of evidence that turns suspicion into certainty. When you hear it, you'll never unhear it. Let's go straight to the night of the third test in Manchester. Australia has just completed the whitewash. The players are carrying Walters around like he's the second coming of Jack Gibson. Champagne everywhere, pure joy. The Fox League crew grabs him for the live cross. Everyone expects the usual, "We're building for the World Cup" speech. Instead, Walters looks straight down the barrel, smiles that trademark cheeky grin, and says 6 words that slipped under every headline in the country. "I might have coached my last game." He laughs it off, the panel laughs with him, and the moment is gone in 3 seconds. But go back and watch the replay. The pause before he said it, the little shrug, the way his eyes flicked to the sky like a man who had just realized something massive. That wasn't a throwaway line. That was a confession disguised as a joke. And the players heard it too. Tony Staggs went on radio 2 days later and said word for word, "If Kev doesn't get the gig for the World Cup, I'm seriously thinking about switching to Tonga." Think about how insane that is. A Queensland origin star, Brisbane Bronco, is willing to burn his Australian jersey because he doesn't want to play international football without Walters. That's not loyalty to a coach. That's loyalty to a man they believe is about to vanish. Even the old heads are panicking. Gordon Tallis went on NRL 360 and almost yelled, "Show the bloke some respect. He just did what no one has done in 20 years and you lot are treating him like an interim." When Tallis is the voice of reason, you know something is seriously wrong. But the final nail, the one that keeps me up at night, is what Walters did the morning after the team got home. While the rest of the squad was still asleep on the plane, Walters was wide awake in business class, headphones on, writing in a notebook. A staff member sitting nearby caught a glimpse. Page after page of handwriting, not tactics, not player reviews. The word legacy was written at the top of one page in massive capitals. Legacy. Not 2026 selections, not Pacific Championship. Legacy. That's a man putting the full stop on his story. Put it all together and the picture's crystal clear. Walters has given Rugby League everything. 5 premierships as a player, a grand final as a coach, an Ashes whitewash against all odds. He's financially set for life, emotionally exhausted, and now he's holding a microphone deal in one hand and a one-way ticket to peace and quiet in the other. The ARL Commission can offer him the World Cup gold tomorrow, and I'm telling you right now, he's going to smile, say thank you, and politely turn it down. Kevin Walters isn't chasing another contract. He's chasing the sunrise from his back deck in Auchenflower with his grandkids running around and no alarm clock in the world. And when the announcement finally comes, probably quiet, probably classy, probably sometime in the next 4 weeks, remember you heard it here first. Kevvie is done. The whitewash wasn't a beginning, it was the perfect goodbye. Thanks for watching the biggest scoop Aussie NRL Updates has ever broken. Drop your reaction in the comments, gutted or happy he goes out on top. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, because when the news drops, you'll want to be here for the fallout. This is Aussie NRL Updates, and we just called the end of an era. See you in the next one.